In a place where the impossible becomes possible, there lived a young boy named Luke. Luke was a curious and adventurous 12-year-old who loved exploring the world around him. He had a best friend named Brian, who was just as curious and adventurous as he was. One sunny afternoon, Luke and Brian decided to venture into the mysterious sacred garden, a hidden place rumored to hold magical powers. They had heard stories of its enchanting beauty and wanted to see it for themselves. As they entered the garden, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight. Colorful flowers bloomed in every corner, and the air was filled with a sweet fragrance. The boys were in awe of the tranquility that surrounded them. As they explored further, they stumbled upon a small pond with crystal clear water. Luke and Brian kneeled down to get a closer look when suddenly, they noticed a girl, about their age, sitting by the pond. She had long, flowing hair and wore a simple white dress. Curiosity got the better of Luke, and he approached the girl. "Hello, my name is Luke. What brings you to this sacred garden?" he asked. The girl smiled warmly and replied, "I am Brian, and I come here to seek solace and peace. This garden holds a secret that only a few are aware of." Intrigued, Luke and Brian sat down beside her, eager to hear more. Brian whispered, "What kind of secret? Can you tell us?" The girl hesitated for a moment, then leaned in closer and whispered, "This garden has the power to grant one wish to those who truly believe. But there is a catch. The wish can only be granted if it is selfless and pure of heart." Luke and Brian exchanged excited glances. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. The possibility of having a wish come true was too tempting to resist. Days turned into weeks, and Luke and Brian visited the sacred garden every day. They spent hours contemplating their wishes, trying to find the purest and most selfless desires within their hearts. One day, as Luke was deep in thought, he overheard a conversation between Brian and another friend. Brian had confided in his friend about the secret of the sacred garden. Luke's heart sank as he realized that Brian had broken their pact of secrecy. Furious and hurt, Luke confronted Brian. "How could you betray our friendship like that? We promised to keep this a secret." Brian's face turned pale, and he stammered, I didn't mean to. I just needed someone to talk to." "I'm sorry, Luke." The once unbreakable bond between Luke and Brian was now shattered. Luke couldn't trust Brian anymore, and their friendship seemed irreparable. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between Luke and Brian grew. The sacred garden, once a place of joy and wonder for them, now held painful memories. They avoided each other, unable to bridge the gap that had formed between them. One evening, as Luke sat alone in the garden, he saw Brian approaching. Brian looked remorseful, and his eyes were filled with regret. "Luke, I'm truly sorry for what I did. I never meant to hurt you," Brian said, his voice filled with sincerity. Luke sighed and looked into Brian's eyes. He saw the remorse and the longing for forgiveness. In that moment, he realized that their friendship was worth more than any wish the sacred garden could grant. With a heavy heart, Luke forgave Brian. They embraced, letting go of the pain that had consumed them. The sacred garden seemed to sense their reconciliation, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, as if offering its blessing. Together, Luke and Brian vowed to keep the secret of the sacred garden safe, cherishing their friendship above all else. They knew that true happiness lay not in wishes granted, but in the bonds they shared. Years passed, and Luke and Brian remained best friends, their bond stronger than ever. They often returned to the sacred garden, not seeking